Go ahead and get started. We've got people coming into the room here, so I appreciate seeing everybody on the call. Just you got the more people coming on board here. So, hey, I just want to give just a quick thank you to Diego for being on the call here, and also Dylan. Dylan's at the home office there in Lincoln, Nebraska, and so Diego's he's in you're in Colorado now, right, Diego?
I am in Colorado. Yeah, I moved here last June, so.
Yep.
Enjoying the skiing and the outdoors life.
So. Yeah, well, you're going to be in a COVID situation, lockdown. That'd be a nice place to be. You've got mountains to walk around in and get fresh air to breathe. So, good for you. Good for you, buddy. Well, hey guys, I appreciate that you guys are on the call, and just kind of let you guys know here at ICANN Financial and Lifetime 360 on the webinar here. That Ameritas has been a really, really strong company for us, and it was about how long ago was that, Diego? About a year and a half ago, or Dylan? I mean,
yeah, probably a year and a half ago, 2 years.
Yeah, when we had these incredible sushi boats, the sushis were like 2 gigantic boats full of sushi, and then I think when Diego is not working at Ameritas, he's working for what do you call it? The car. What do you call it?
It's Tesla.
The Tesla. He's working as a Tesla salesman. He has this beautiful Tesla. He has 2 beautiful Teslas, but he was just really selling the crap out of it in the car, man. But it was so beautiful, so wonderful, and driving by itself and just everything. So I mean, so you did a really good job, Diego, hosting that event for us.
No, thank you. No, hey, Tesla is one of those companies that I invested a little money at the beginning, and it more than paid for my cars, my solar system, the whole thing. I just got lucky, probably. So, yeah, it was
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, I just want to say that so we kind of sat down in that first meeting there at the home office, kind of met with everybody. I mean, it was a very special meeting. It was a very intimate meeting with, I think Bill was there too, right? And all the top heavyweight there at the home office, and it was a nice intimate setting. It was a nice event, and we have dinner that night and stuff like that. So it was really, really good. I mean, that was beginning of forging this partnership that we have now with Ameritas and with you guys, and Diego and Dylan, and Diego especially. You've been really, really just, I mean, over the top for us, and we're really grateful and appreciative. And we appreciate that both you guys, you and Dylan, are both on the call here today. So, so I will just pass the baton over to you and kind of have you take it from here, and then you guys could have at it. So the time's all yours, guys. I appreciate you guys being here and appreciate everything you guys done for us here at Ameritas.
No, thank you, Ray, and thank you, everybody. I'm pretty impressed because when I met Ray, when he came to the home office, we really focused on introducing the independent side of Ameritas, which was really a new area that we created about 4 years ago. And to my surprise, after start working with all of you, I noticed that ICANN itself, the agents, they say, we like the independent side, and we're going to take it all. So we're going to go through all the products, and you are one of my diverse groups that really took the initiative to see the value in not only the FLX products that we created for the independent side, but the whole portfolio. So thank you for that. That is really cool. I know that it's a little challenging. So today I want to kind of give you an idea of why this is the way it is and what we're doing to make things better. But before I do so, I asked Dylan to come to this call because Dylan and I have basically become your team, right? So I am the external person and he's more the internal person. Occasionally, and I'm going to make it a point to bring Dylan to ICANN. So we are going to go together and see you and spend some time with all of you. But I'm probably going to be the one that travels the most. And Dylan, if you can tell the team, where can you help them the most? What is your expertise? What do you feel you can do to add value to this team?
Yeah, and just looking at the list, I know I've worked with a few of you. So as Diego said, I work on the internal sales desk, So anything from the start of the sale up to submitting business, I'll be able to help you all with. So if you need help with quotes, or if you're looking for product information or need help navigating the website, whatever it might be, anything like that, you can call and you'll speak with myself, as some of you already have, or possibly Jeremy. He's another internal.
Yeah.
So anything leading up to the sale that you have questions on, or any issues submitting business, I'll be able to assist you and get you through it.
Absolutely. And thank you, Dylan. And more than anything, know our team. If you need anything, you're going to have direct access to us. You are by far our leading group. So we are giving you our most VIP service and attention, and take advantage of it. If you're running into any issues, reach out to Dylan, reach out to me. We will jump on it and help you. But hopefully that's not the case very often. Anyway, with that, I'm going to share my screen right now, and I'm going to show you a presentation that I put together. Give me 1 second. What is the, no, I want to share the screen. Looks a little different than what I'm used to. Sorry, guys, I'm having it. Okay, so, well, I guess I can do it.
Absolutely.
How about that? Does that work?
Yes, there we are. Perfect.
All right, awesome. This looks a little different than what I've seen in the past, but that's perfect. I can show you the presentation. So let's talk to you about how can we add value to your business, where we are good, where we are not so good. Well, I hope that's not the case, but we're trying to give you an idea of where Ameritas fit, and also what are the strengths and the things that you can use to really make a recommendation to a client, or explain to them why you are showing Ameritas, right? But in that spirit, I want to give you an overview of the whole thing. Number one, Ameritas, I wouldn't be talking to you today if Ray and team didn't bet us out and came to Lincoln and met us and realized that the company is a mutual company, that we have the strength, the financial. We have 4.9 million customers, I just read, a little more than that. And we have enough money right now to pay everybody's claim at the same time, 4 times over, and still be solvent. So very, very good company, over 100 years in the market. But like I told you, we created about 4 years ago the independent space. And that's where Dylan and Tim and I came on board. I came a little later. And for that, we created 2 products that were really maybe built with a little higher compensation, the FLX products, the term and IUL with living benefits. And the reason was we didn't have to pay benefits, 401k benefits, or those trips that they do on the other side, things like that, the conferences. We decided to give more money to the agents. So if you do see a difference in your commission statement with the FLX versus the other ones, it's between 2 and 10%, depending on the product and your level. So keep that in mind. It's because those products were truly designed for the independent space. They're very similar, they're very good. But the contract that Ray has for all of you gives you access to the whole portfolio, which is kind of unique. Not many people can do that. Most people can sell either the other side or the FLX side, but only a very limited group of people have access to everything. And obviously I took advantage of it, as we can see. So those are the growth, the access, the value plus. Those are the groups, the products that a lot of you are selling. So thank you. I'm glad they're working. And with that, I wanted to give you a really quick overview on, and this is something that Dylan helped me put together. Dylan, why do we have 4 products? Why do we have four whole life products? And I see that one there, buy your own, build your own bank concept, the growth whole life. Specifically, that one seems to be working really well with something that you're doing, right, Ray? You have a system that really fits into that. But Dylan, in a high level, what would you say that people use these products for?
Yeah, so with whole life, your clients are going to be concerned most with guarantees, guaranteed death benefit, and having some cash value buildup. But as you see on the screen, there's a brief description for all of these, and they're tailored towards just a slightly different goal on each one. The Access Whole Life, that's our newest whole life product that came out about 2 years ago. And the focus there is on early cash value accumulation. So if you have someone that knows they're going to be buying a home or maybe a business owner and they want those guarantees, that Access Whole Life product could come into play for them. The Value Plus Whole Life, that's going to focus on cheap death benefit. So if they're not as concerned on that cash value buildup, the Value Plus Whole Life will be the cheapest whole life product if they're focusing just on death. And then the final expense portion of that plan also goes as low as $10,000. The growth
That's
whole
the
life,
simplified underwriting, right, Dylan? The final expense portion of it.
it is, yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
we see people that, focus on final expense and they use this. It's actually, in many cases, cheaper than final expense. So just something to know. It's a little more, it's a longer application, but it's cheaper. So it may be worth it for some of those situations.
Yep. So no paramed on that, just the application on that final expense portion. The growth whole life, as we said, is going to be focused more on long-term cash value accumulation. So in most cases, if your client plans to pay, I'd say anywhere from 15 or 20 years or more, that growth whole life product will be a good play for them. And we'll see some higher cash value buildup compared to the Access Whole Life or the Value Plus Whole Life. And then just to break off of the growth whole life, we have the growth 10-pay. That is a true 10-pay product. And after your client pays for 10 years, it is fully paid up, and we will continue to see some cash value over the years. But the growth whole life, not the 10-pay, will be better for long-term cash accumulation. So the 10-pay strictly for 10 years.
Thank you, Dylan. So that gives you an idea of why so many whole life products, right? But we also have 3 IULs, and 2 of them, as you can see, have the same definition. They're both designed for accumulation and income, right? The Value Plus IUL, which I haven't seen many people in here particularly use that one too much, but that's a more affordable death benefit protection type of thought process when we build that one. So you obviously, depending on who you are, and if you don't remember this, I mean, we have guys who have materials, but give us a call Dylan, call myself. Hey, I have a client with this situation. Let us help you find the right product. That's what we're here for. So I just want you to, at a high level, understand that. But I do want to touch a little bit on those FLX IUL and Growth IUL, mostly because they do have a little bit of a compensation difference because of the way they were designed. One was designed prior to the independent space for that more captive audience of Ameritas, and the other one was more for the independent space. And if you really like those, I mean, there is really hardly any differences. They're almost identical. So I went into a full comparison with my product analyst, and I said, what is really different about these products? Why will you sell the growth versus the FLX, besides the underwriting portion of it? And there isn't really that much. As you can see, I mean, the account value bonus on the FLX IUL will give you 0.5 point on years 11 plus. So if the index returns 10, we'll give you 10.5. If the index returns 0, we'll give you 50 basis points, so 0.5 point. That's kind of a cool thing. On the growth, actually, is 10% credit enhancement on years 6 plus. So if the index does 5, we'll give you 5.5, so 10% more. But you have to do at least that to make up to the other one. So I don't know which one is better, which one is I cannot really tell you. They're a little different, but that's one of the small difference. The growth has the term rider, which we use the supplemental rider on the FLX to kind of complement that. And then, as you can see, the guarantees is a little better on the FLX. The cap on the S&P is a little better on the FLX. On the BNP, they're identical. And then the growth has this 4% guaranteed look back, but I feel that's a benefit that never comes into play because it's unlikely that these products will perform less than 4%, right? So if you are wondering which one you should use, either one, whatever one you like, they're almost identical. They're going to give you the same very, very similar return on performance. So whatever one you like, it doesn't matter, whatever way you want to go. But you may want to think through them when you're doing underwriting, when you're working with Ameritas, which one fits better. One of the things that I do want to also bring to you, because you are using both platforms, and trust me, this is temporary. We are working and investing millions of dollars right now in bringing all of this into one platform, one underwriting team. You will see that happening. But if you are working with both platforms, when you get appointed with Ameritas and you get your welcome email and you go into the producer workbench, just be conscious that if you're writing the FLX products, go to the FLX section to see the portal, to upload documents, to whatever it is you want to do is in the FLX section, and the FLX e-app is a different one. But if you're doing anything that is not FLX, the growth, the access, the value plus, you apply through the go to e-apply. As you see, it's a different e-app. And you also check your business in a different place. Outside of that, it's the same page, it's just different sections because of how these were built. We're going to bring this again back to you into one platform soon. Another thing that is happening soon is that we are going into iPipeline. So the application will be available through iPipeline, and is in what I'm hearing, it's going to be significantly better experience for you as well. That's happening within 3 months. So by June, July, you will see iPipeline as an option for the application. And we're also improving our contracting area with Beta 4. That's also happening within 3 months. So it's in the final stages. But understand that if you're doing FLX versus anything else, you have different underwriting criteria, different underwriting products. I'll give you a high-level overview in a second. It's the different app, the different back office. So it's almost like working with two companies. I know, it's not the best scenario. Temporarily, it's happening, it's going to join. But that is the reason. One was built for truly independent, the other one wasn't. We're introducing, you can have access to anything. Just be aware of this part. Let's talk about underwriting, because this is super important, especially for you to do field underwriting and understanding the differences. And there are scenarios where you may be better off going one way versus the other. So let me tell you, and I also want to tell you where we're really good, right? And I spent quite a bit of time talking to underwriters about this. So on the FLX products, we have an underwriting guide in red. You see that? I will provide those to you. On the other one, we have a different underwriting guide. Okay, so let me tell you what I mean by that. When we designed this, we really wanted to be competitive in the non-medical space. So no paramed, no labs, nothing like that. So we built a platform that if you were doing anything over 300,000 of less of face amount of death benefit, and the client was 70 years or younger, we were going to give you a non-medical experience 100% of the time. And that is true today. You send us those businesses, those $100,000 policies, those small policies, you know for a fact that with us, you'll never have to do exams. Ever. We also introduced this table A through D rapid standard, so if the client was not a standard, if it was something worse, you will group into rapid standard. But as anything, the less information a company knows about a client, it's a little bit more expensive. I talked to many professionals today that they used to write business, and they used to get a lot of preferred plus, standard cases. But since the companies, the carriers went into these accelerated programs, they tell me, Diego, we see a lot of standard. We don't see that much preferred or preferred plus anymore, right? Because they know less information, so they have to make that up somehow. So there is a benefit to go into more underwriting. And it's something that I believe you, the producer, you should be talking to agents about this. In the FLX side, again, if you go in, or, we felt that 300,000 wasn't probably enough, that competition was getting higher. So we decided to move the program to $1 million. But in this case, it wasn't 100% of the time. It's going to be, in most cases, or maybe actually, I'm lying, probably 50% of the time, you will see that it will go through as accelerated. I personally, in talking to underwriters, I would recommend that unless you really know the client doesn't have a major medical concern or bad financial behavior, which I will talk about that in a second, do not do it. Go for full underwriting, and you have the choice to select full underwriting if you want to, right? Or if you know the client went and did a physical in the last year and we can access those exams or labs, absolutely, use the Flexcelerated program or the accelerated program up to $1 million. If not, go for if you're over $300,000, go for full underwriting. There is a lot of benefit to that. I know it's a little tedious, but it's worth it for the client. It's worth for you to have a conversation. It's going to really help you get referrals and more business. it's less expensive. It's less expensive, and I'm going to prove it to you in a minute. The rates are better. In the FLX side, we have the underwriting edge potential, where we have proven we can offer people with substandard rates standard. And that's an agreement with the reinsurance company. So you're going to see 55% of the time, and I see the data, 55% of the time, cases over $300,000, we're offering Prefer or Prefer Plus. And what a difference does that make? You will see a lot more standard with other companies. So to just know where Ameritas is really strong. Let's wait on the TRL, the TransUnion True Risk Mortality Score. What is that? What is that? That is a pain in the butt, to be honest with you. Basically, what it is a study where we went to TransUnion, and they did a study with several million people, where they realized that people that had bad financial behavior, guess what? They get sicker more often and they die sooner. Maybe the stress, who knows? And what I mean by bad financial behavior is that people that maybe they have 4 credit cards and they're all being paid on time. You will think that's a good thing, right? It's fine as long as they're not maxed out. If they're all maxed out, that is a recipe for disaster, right? So how much credit do you have available? How much history of credit do you have? Do you have collections? Do you have bankruptcy? They take a bunch of things, like 25 different elements, and they give you a score from 0 to 100. You know, if you're in the 50s, 60s, not a problem. If you're in the high numbers, it's a problem. It could affect your decision. It could move you from preferred to standard. But if you're in the low numbers, it could also move you from standard to preferred. So it can help you and hurt you. But it is weighted more, especially when you go into the non-medical space, right? So we're going to do the MIB, the MBI, all those things anyway. APS is about 7% of the time is what we're seeing. And that's, underwriting discretion based on if something doesn't seem right, they're going to ask for those records. And parameter only on the 300,000 plus or $1 million plus, depending if you use a flex edit or not. So why am I telling you this? You'll see it in a second. This is the FLX side. So now, remember I told you different underwriting programs? There are situations where going non-FLX probably makes more sense. And in this side, the non-medical is only 100,000 or less versus 300,000. The age is 60 or younger. So you have less, they don't have the rapid standard. I mean, you get a standard or you get the tables, right? Still, it's more expensive. The accelerated program goes from 100,000 to $1 million, where you have the choice to accelerate. On the other side, it was 300,000, right? So there are situations where you say, well, I want to accelerate this client. They only have 200,000. Maybe you want to go non-FLX, right? But then in the full underwriting program, for example, they don't have the underwriting edge potential. So they don't, that's a benefit of the FLX side. The one thing that I do like is, if you do full underwriting on the non-FLX side, the TRL it doesn't even exist. It doesn't come into play. So for example, younger people, let's say under 30 years old. What is the problem with those people? It's not that they have a bad financial behavior, it's that they don't have any history, right? Maybe they had a student, college student debt, student loans, things like that, but they don't really have a history, so their TRL is a little higher, and it affects them more. In the other side is weighted more, and here is not even applicable. So maybe younger people have a better chance at using the growth versus the other one because of this TRL thing. I know it's a lot of information, but what I want you to know today is we have 2 underwriting guys, have them both. And if you have a situation that, I have this client, this is what I am, give us a call. Call Dylan, call myself, call our underwriting team. We'll give you the tips and help you navigate through this. Having 2 may be more confusing, but there is also benefits, pros and cons to that. So be aware of that. I will provide the 2 guides, and again, have the team here to support you with that. To show you what I mean by the benefits of full underwriting versus not, and the conversation that I believe you want to have with your clients, I run an illustration on the FLX side of the house on a 45-year-old female, and it was a 30-year term. This is to show you the concept and to show you how this works. As you can see, at 300,000, it was $105, but at $300,001, one more dollar, the price went down by almost $22 a month. times 30 years, that's almost $8,000 in savings. Because of the underwriting edge program, chances are we may offer you 55% of the time preferred or preferred plus. If we offer you preferred, now you gave the client an $18,000 savings by simply doing more underwriting. I think it's worth a conversation. Hey, I know it's going to be a little longer, it's a little more tedious, but man, that could be significant savings to you to have full underwriting. And Ameritas at full underwriting, they're really good. That's where we really shine, okay? So keep that in mind. This is just to give you, wow, okay, I see what Diego says. That extra dollar in benefit can give you potentially, you know, 8,000 or 18,000, or if you prefer plus, even more. So a lot of savings. In the IUL space, remember, accumulation and income, that was the goal here. I use the FLX, and in this case, I use a 45 mil. And what I did is okay, 45 mil, I want to say $300 a month is what this person could save comfortably, you know, tax-free, taking money with no taxes, that's awesome. So there's a significant tax benefit. But a 45 mil that can put $300 a month away for 20 years until age 65, right? And then from 65 to 85, I wanted to show 20 years of variable loans income. So I run it at 300,000 and I force the system to make it a $300 a month with 300,000 benefit. My income came to about $164 a month for 20 years. And then I added a dollar. I put it 300,000 and $1. $1 later, my income came to $302, so almost double. Because Ameritas knows that if you do over 300,000, we're going to know more about the client, more underwriting. So we lower the cost of insurance significantly. So that is a point that where the cost of insurance is significantly less, and it's because we know more about the client. You enter the full underwriting space. So is it worth a conversation with your client to say, hey, listen, we can do this. It will give you this in income, but if we do this, if you're willing to do an exam and you set expectations up front and you tell them they're going to call you, don't eat the night before, you know, try to stay healthy, don't drink, do it in the morning. They're going to come, they're going to take blood, they're going to do they're going to weight you, whatever, ask you a few questions. Maybe you can have significantly more income later. Is it worth it to you, or you want to go the easy way, right? And if by chance, if Ameritas gives you a preferred status, which will happen 55% of the time, now we're talking about $508 a month versus $164. If they give you preferred plus, even more. So do you see why having a discussion with the client about the benefits of doing full underwriting it could be significant, especially on a product where you're going to be putting money for a long time? When I see the numbers, to me, it's a no-brainer. But I know some people say, Diego, I hate doing Paramed. It's just difficult, blah, blah, blah. I get it. And if it's $100,000, it doesn't make sense. I get it. But when you have those higher clients that are putting a little more benefit, I think it's worth a conversation. So giving you a high-profile understanding of that is really a goal. Dylan, what are you seeing? What when you're talking to people? Do you see people now starting to talk more about, hey, let's go over 300,000 because they know the benefits of the products?
Yeah, since we've been pushing that more and promoting it, more people are going over 300,000. But beforehand, we were seeing everyone go under 300,000. They wanted to keep it non-med for their clients, no paramed. And some clients may want that. But if your client is okay with taking that paramed, as Diego pointed out, both on the term and the IUL products, whether it's the premium price or the cash value accumulation, there's a big benefit to your client if they're willing to go over. So we're seeing that more common now.
Yeah, I think that when I first came into this team, in all honesty, you know, my colleagues trained me and they said, oh, God, Diego, we really have an advantage on the non-med. We're guaranteeing 100% of the time. We're not going to do that. So here I was promoting the non-med, promoting the non-med. And I came to the realization that Ameritas is not the fastest company to process the non-med. You know, it's going to take 7 to 10 days anyway, right? There are some companies that have that probably a little more refined. We're just as good in terms of the product, but then I came to the realization when it came to full underwriting, we had a little bit of an edge. We really had a little bit of an edge from the competitiveness of the product, from the underwriting edge program, and from the cost of insurance really being lower. So I switched my approach and I told people, don't look at us only for non-med, because that's not really what we're okay. We're really good here. Now we have less policies, more premium. It was really, we hurt ourselves by promoting the non-med so heavily. It's good, but there are companies that have this simplified underwriting and this, they basically approve, they give you standard or they give you bad rates, but some agents, they want the fastness of it, right? And I think it makes sense for the small cases. But if you have a bigger case, that's where we shine. With that, I talked to Ray and I wanted to do something special for ICANN. So I moved a few pieces and you know, we want to promote health, we want to promote good things. So we're going to put a special contest, and this is only for you, only for ICANN, and it's only going to apply to those of you. So between now and I'm actually going to count all the premium this month, right? So all of April, all the way through July 31st. We're going to look at all your premium. We're really going to promote, we want you to hopefully promote the over 300,000, right? We're going to look at all your premium. And basically for every one of you who has $10,000 of paid premium during those months, April to July, we're going to put your name in the drawing. So if you have $20,000, we're going to give you two chances. If you have 30,000, 3 chances, and so on. For every 10,000, you get 1 ticket, right? And I plan on doing this hopefully live, Ray. I'm hoping that in mid-August I can come to see you in the ICANN offices, and you know, we all can see, or we'll see the list of producers that did over 10,000, and we'll put the number of tickets, we'll put them on a bucket so it's all clear. If we can, we'll do it in Zoom, and I'll make sure that you all can see everything. It's going to be a really fair. We're going to draw a name, and we're going to give them one of the mirrors by Lululemon. I heard they're pretty cool machines. You know, you can keep it for yourself, you can gift it to somebody, do whatever you want. I hope you use it and enjoy it, but I'm going to give you the mirror. We'll ship it to your house and get it installed and the whole 9 yards. So something fun to do, again, for every 10th. And hey, one thing, guys, not many people get 10,000 in premium. So there may be 1 or 2 names. so those of you who are producing a lot, you have a really high chance at winning this prize. So I will have a flyer made for you. They're working on it in marketing. Unfortunately, you know, I think we got given 2 days. We need a couple more days. We'll have a flyer with all for you to see it, and it will be promoted throughout ICANN. But
Diego, we actually got that finalized right before this meeting.
Oh, really?
So yep, we can send it out to them right after this. We all have the dates and everything on there.
Chris, you'll have it soon, guys. I was tweaking this presentation, so I didn't even see my email in the last hour. So thank you. Thank you, Dylan. You'll have this flyer soon. So this is exclusively for ICANN. We're not doing it for everybody. This is something that you guys earn for because you're so cool with us. Okay, so looking forward to giving this mirror away. All right.
And that comes with the 1 free training from a Diego, right, with the mayor, right? So you're going to give a little workout presentation.
Hey, COVID hit me hard, so I don't know if I'm in good shape anymore. I couldn't go to the gym for a long time. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about ideas on when you can recommend Ameritas. Because I think we're really good at something, and we have a really nice competitive advantage when it comes to accumulation and income, especially after A49A. So as you all know, A49A came into play, and it really regulated how companies were illustrating their products, right? You know, you couldn't make these crazy bonus enhancements and things like that and make things look potentially better than reality, right? Well, Ameritas, for once, a regulation helped us. It helped us so much that it really puts us on the growth, by the way, is on top of the FLX. I don't have it in this chart, but Ameritas came on top. Today, if you're competing with somebody else on accumulation and growth, with the IULs, with the growth and the FLX, you have a really high chance of looking better, right? So if you have another illustration from somebody else and they say, hey, can you do better? Hey, send it to Dylan, send it to me. We'll find a way to make the illustration look better. And we really have a really good illustration potential today. I mean, God, I see some companies, you know, 25,000 versus 29,000. It's just really cool to be on that. So we're taking advantage. And this is an example at a 45 mil, put in $1,000 a month or $10,000 for 20 years, and then at 65 taking income. I run it at 35, we run it at 55, we run it regardless of the age, we are winning, guys. We are in the #1 place with many companies today. So not a better time to really show Ameritas for those clients. And I also believe that you don't buy an IOL to die or to get sick, right? Living benefits is cool. Dying is not cool, but nobody buys it thinking they're going to die or they buy it to have money in the future. They buy it to take advantage of the tax benefits. They buy it to see which company offers me the most potential to make money, right? If something happens between the day that I buy the policy and the day that I need the money, great, I have the protection, or my family is protected. But you don't buy it thinking of that. What clients want to talk to you about is, how much money did I make this year? That's what they see when they see the income statement. So when you're talking to them, potential is probably the most important thing to talk about. I am making this recommendation to you because I believe this product offers you more potential than anything else I see in the market today. You are independent agents. You're supposed to do your homework and look around, right? So come to them and say, this is what I want to recommend you. This is why. If you like the S&P 500, Ameritas currently is offering 10.25. I know other companies are offering 9 or some other small number on the annual point to point. It makes no sense, assuming everything is the same, to offer a product with less potential. Why can we offer 10.25? Or hey, we have our portfolio yield, the max index rates, the multiplier, all these things. How big the size of the risk of the company puts you in a better place or a worse place, and we happen to be in a really good place right now. But there is something that we have on both the growth and the FLX that is, in my opinion, very special. And this is the BMP Index Momentum 5, which is exclusive in the life insurance space to Ameritas. Why is that special? Okay, so a lot of people like to use the S&P 500 because it's easy to explain to the client. We're going to see the performance of these top 500 companies. A year later, if they go up, you'll get up to a cap. Super easy, right? But what if you had a non-cap, uncapped index? So if it goes up 20, you get the full 20. It doesn't matter. You don't have a cap, right? And is proven to us that is doing better than the S&P and then doing better than many other indexes. That is putting Ameritas in a really good competitive place for accumulation. So you tell the client the following. Listen, this is a managed index. The S&P is not managed. It's the performance of those 500 companies. This is a managed index. So basically, they have 14 components. They have equities. They have gold and oil, just like the commodities. They have bonds of all types. They have real estate. They have 14 things. So if one sector is doing better than the other one, they can allocate the money to that sector versus the other. They're managing that. Which sector is doing better? And they also have diversification regionally. They're in Asia, they're in America, they're in Europe. So they're looking at what part of the world is doing better and what component. And every day they're choosing from these 14 things the best 8. And the next day they look at the whole 14 things and say, which ones are performing better? These 8, and they put it into those 8. They're managing that, right? They're also looking at volatility. If volatility exceeds 5%, they move it into a money market, into a cash account. So by having this managed index, by having a 185% participation, meaning that if the index does 6, we'll multiply that by 1.85 and credit 11.1 in the client's account, or in 250 in the 2-year point-to-point. By doing that, is this giving you better potential than the S&P or that other indexes out there, or other companies that have some type of exposure and managed index also, but they only offer 130% participation? So let me show you what this does. And what I did here is I went to look at the 2 most utilized indexes in our FLX product or the growth, right? The S&P and the BMP. And if you look at the performance from 2010 to 2020, the last 11 years, the BMP only averaged 5.6 and the S&P 12.21. So you're saying, Diego, are you nuts? Why will you go into the BMP, right? But then what I did is I took those indexes and I applied them to how the product works. So I added the times 1.85, so the participation of the BMP, and I limited the S&P to the cap of 10.25. And look at the numbers now. Now you're averaging 7.39 versus almost 12. So do you want to tell a client that is going to put money on a product for 20 years or more? Hey, that extra 1, 2, 3% more in average per year over that much time, that means better quality of life to you, buddy. That means you're going to have more money for your kids' college or more money for supplementing retirement or for whatever you want to do with this money. And that's what you're selling. You're selling potential. And that's what the BMP does. It sells potential. It gives you more potential because his money is more. Yeah, it may not be as high, but with that participation, is doing amazing. And we increased the participation recently. We decreased the cap on the S&P. So I have this policy myself. I allocated 75% to the BMP, 25 to the S&P in case there is a 2020, right, where the S&P perform better. Occasionally that happens. I really seen the returns and they're better. But 2020 happened. And 2020, I was like, what am I telling people? I'm telling people to use the BMP, but 2020 for March, April, May, June, like a few months, people were getting zero returns. And I was like, how do I tell this story? What, I mean, everything that I say is kind of going the wrong way here. So I called the BMP RVP, Alice, and I say, Alice, what happened? I mean, how do we tell people? I said, Diego, very simple. Remember that the BMP is managed and they're all over the world? Well, what happened with COVID? It affected the entire world, right? Everybody got affected by it. So yeah, the index dropped. So those people who were hitting an anniversary in March, they were getting zeros. That's a shame, right? But for a few months but since then, and this was about 3 months ago, he says it went up like 9% from March to March. So now in the following year, they're going to get a really good return because they reset it at a really low point. Or those people who purchased the policy in March, April, in those low months, they're going to have a great first year. So I was like, really? So how do I know this? So if you go, and I did this right before this meeting, if you go to this link, the Bloomberg.com quote BMP, here's a trigger, and I will send this link to all of you. If you go to this link, which this morning, I went in there and I looked at it. So the 1 year return is at 9.72. You can see the COVID drop over here, right? 1.72. So 9.72, those people who bought a year ago are getting 17.98% return. It will take 2 great years of the S&P to match that. Do you see what I mean? You had 1 or 2 or 130%, 130, because there is no cap. 1 or 2 good years could make a significant difference on this person, in this person investment, and that's what you're selling, the potential to have more. So BMP, and also if you like S&P, great, do 50-50, or do 75-25 or 90-10. Change it every year for all we care. That's you have the right to do that. But our product is offering more potential, and this BMP index, for those people who really understand it, I will give you the tools. We have flyers, we have videos. I mean, guys, it's not difficult to explain. Hey, regional, they manage it. They look at the best sectors, the best regions. They choose the best state out of 14 every single day. That's how you get it. And if it's too volatile, they move it into cash. They're managing that. The S&P is whatever those companies do. So I'm not saying the S&P is bad. I'm just saying this is really good. So sell potential. It's in the growth, it's on the IUL. Dylan, what are you seeing people doing when people call you for illustrations? Are they getting this point? Are you seeing more people going into the BNP now?
Oh, we are. Yeah, the BNP was a heavy focus ever since this product came out. Lots of people were using that. And then after COVID happened, like Diego said, in 2020, we saw a benefit of agents putting some of it into the S&P. So now a really common or say normal method will be people splitting it up. Usually we're seeing a heavier favor towards the BNP index.
Yeah.
But as Diego said, they can switch it from year to year. So
it is by far a competitive advantage of Ameritas. I really truly believe so. So please think through that. By the way, in the illustration, right after the ledger, we give you a 20-year history. This is actually based, it says in the bottom here, from January 1st to December 31st. So depending on how you time this, it could be different returns. But you have all the options that the product offers, all the indexes. And I highlighted in green here the S&P with the 10.25 cap. And you can see the 5, 10, 15, 20-year historical performance. And you can see the average numbers. And then I had the BNP. The BNP is not as old when you have 15 years. But you can see if you go only 5 years back, the S&P would have performed a little better. That's why you diversify. You put 50-50 or 25. But if you look at the 10-year and the 20-year, 9.24, 9.16 versus 7, that's the 2% more per year for a long time. That's what makes a big difference. And you can show this to the client. Again, this is all conservatively illustrated, but it gives you an idea of how much better the BNP can be. So you can not only have a conversation about it, but tell them, real numbers or real history on why you're making the recommendation. As good as we are for accumulation as income, and in my opinion, that is the main focus of why people buy these products, right? Especially if you're healthy, but you do have to put a little icing on the cake and talk about living benefits and talk about how competitive Ameritas is with living benefits as well, because let's hope we never have to use them. But if we do, we have them. And we're not bad at all. We have 18 different ways of accessing money while you're alive. 18 different ways. Most companies will pay these based on the severity of the illness and the life expectancy. So there is an actuarial discount. And we have that actuarial discount on the term products as well. We pay up to 90% of the insured amount based on that. So you may get more or less, right? The place where we're very competitive is on how we pay living benefits on the IUL. It's very unique. And that applies to the growth, applies to the FLX. So our living benefits are, I don't know, Ameritas took a different direction. So I want to talk to you about that. But again, 15 critical illnesses. The 2 chronic illnesses will be severity and complement, like dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, and not being able to perform 2 out of 6 activities of daily living, getting dressed, going to the bathroom, eating, things like that. Terminal is 12 months to live or less. So, okay, 18 ways. The more the merrier, especially when they're good. But the lean approach that we have on the IUL is what is a competitive advantage, in my opinion. Why? Because that actuarial discount doesn't apply. We use the lean approach. It's like when you buy a home and you have a mortgage and you owe money to a bank or an institution, right? What do? They put a lien on your title. And you have to pay off that before you can sell your home, right? Or when you buy a car, the same thing. They put a lien on your title. So what happens here is, with Ameritas, an easy way to explain it is, if you do get sick and you have to activate an acceleration, Ameritas is going to borrow you the money, whatever the pre-established amount of money, to help you get through that. And they're going to put a lien on your policy so that your policy is going to be used as a guarantee that you're going to pay that money they borrow you, right? They're going to put a lien on your policy, but the policy is not going to be affected in how it grows. The policy is still going to be enforced. So with other companies, if you have an acceleration and they make you an offer and you take the full offer, you're done. Policy is gone, lapses. They help you when you're sick, but you don't have a policy and you're not insurable. With Ameritas, you have a policy, we're going to borrow you money. They're going to put a lien on your policy saying, hey, you have $1 million policy here, and if you die, we will have to pay somebody $1 million. If we are going to advance you, let's say $250,000, if you die because of that lien, we're only going to give them $750 because we already gave you the $250. You see what I mean? So what is cool about it is that we know exactly before you sign the application how much money you're going to get if you get sick. If you have one of those critical illnesses, the 15 critical illnesses, you will have 25% of the insured amount. If it's chronic, is 50% and terminal 75%. So knowing it at front is clear, as in the illustration on the 4th page, I believe. there is a chart that says this is the amounts that you will get in the event of these things. So it's very clear. It's not up to the severity of the illness and things like that. But this is what I was telling you. You have $1 million policy, you have an acceleration on year 5 for a critical illness of 250. Now you have $750,000 for dollar reduction of your death benefit to your beneficiaries. If they say the policy stays in force, continues to perform, nothing changes. But if in year 10, you have another illness, and in this case, a chronic illness, will give you 50% of the original amount, not the 750 left. So now you'll get another $500,000, and now you only have 250 of insurance. With the other company, they may give you more than 250 on that year 5 critical illness issue. They may give you less. We don't know that, right? Depending on the severity and other factors. But if you take the full the distribution or the acceleration, you're done. So what is better? I don't know. You think? I like to know things. I like things that are clear. I prefer them. Here is an example in numbers. So Bob and Lee are twin brothers. At 45, they both decide to buy the policy, and they put $1,000 a month until retirement age, until 65. So $12,000 a year for 20 years. When they get to 65, they each have accumulated $310,000. Okay, everything the same allocations, same indexes. In this case, it was on the S&P, but you get the idea. One of them, Lee, gets sick with a critical illness. So as promised, we give him 25%. So we give him a check for $250,000, which creates a lien with Ameritas. And that lien has interest. It's going to grow at like 3.5%, 4%, roughly, right? So that 250 after a year is going to be 256. 10 years later, 331. By the time he's 96, if he were to leave that loan, he will have a $552,000 lien on his policy. But what is interesting is that the account value is not affected. So the growth, Lee continues to have the money reflecting the indexes, continues to participate fully in the indexes, in the BNP, in the S&P, whatever he's at, and he continues to make money and accumulate money just like his brother above, right? The only thing that we tell Lee is, Lee, if you die, you still have at age 96, almost 1.9 million like Bob, but we're going to take that 1.9 minus what your lien is at for that money we gave you many, many years back when you were sick, plus the interest minus the 552. So we're going to give your beneficiaries 1.3 million. It's a dollar for dollar reduction. But he still had a policy. He was still insured. He could still have other accelerations. And not only that, he could still potentially take money to supplement the income in retirement, which was the ultimate goal. It's going to be a reduced version of the income, but it's going to be something. With the other companies, they may give you more than 250, maybe less, but you better hope you die because you don't have a way to retire. You don't have anything left. So very, very unique how we pay living benefits. And in my opinion, a competitive advantage. It's clear, it's upfront, you know it, you know what you're getting. It's not up to somebody later to tell me how much I'm going to get. So really, really like the lean approach on the FLX and the growth IULs. To make things a little easier for you, I know that we have kind of a complex model if you're doing both products, right? The FLX and the non-FLX. So to make things a little easier, Dylan, Jeremy, myself, and the team, we decided that we needed to give something to you, a tool that was not a lot of wording, not very complex. So we created a sales guide. And this guide was created for the FLX side of the house. We're in the process, and I know, Dylan, I think you have a good draft built already of creating one for the other side of the house. And I'm doing it specifically for you guys that do both sides, right? But it's really going to be the tool to, you go to page 2, who do I call? Who help? There is the number, there is the emails, so you have that. So what happens? I mean, how do I work with Ameritas? You go to producer workbench, and we give you step by step, like, hey, this is the where you need to go to write an app for this. This is where you need to go. This is how you run the first illustration, step by step. But it's very simple to use. So I will provide this to all of you. as well. It will talk about the underwriting tips on the FLX side. We'll have the same thing on the other side. But more than anything, know that you can call us and we'll help you. Dylan, any comments on this? And I mean, you've seen the process. That isn't the flow of this pretty intuitive for what you have seen?
Yes, if you're new to Ameritas, I would definitely recommend looking at this. This will be your best friend as you get started. And then we'll have one here soon on the other side that is non-FLX products. This will be a good resource for you.
Absolutely. Again, you can call the same people for both, so that will be nice.
Yep.
Talk about this, Dylan. What is this program that we created too? It's like a little nice thing to have, right?
Yep. So this is the Ameritas Loyalty Program. As some of you may be aware, we had a bonus program going on in recent months, and now we have the new program for you all with the workout mirror. This is an ongoing program that's been in place forever. So as you submit applications to Ameritas, you're going to get small little rewards sent to you over time. So as you see, the third app is a small gift card, and you work your way up. Some of the agents' favorite ones are going to be that Yeti tumbler that comes with your name on it. And when you get up to the 50th app, that's a nice winter jacket with the Ameritas logo on it. So kind of just certain rewards that you get as time goes on as you submit more business.
And it's really is. Thank you for your business. Thank you for your loyalty. You know, we want to keep it a little fun for you as well. But if you get a prize, you know why now. So with that, I'm going to leave it out for questions if there are some. I want you to know that my phone number is on the screen, my mobile number, my email, the 800 number. You can reach out to Dylan as well. If you do the 800 option one, you more than likely will get Dylan anyway, right, Dylan? Or Jeremy, who is also great, by the way. But remember, what we offer here is that uncapped potential with 195% participation, that BMP, that the recommendation of, I'm recommending this because it has more potential. Simple as that. I want you to have more money in the future. I want you to know what you're getting if you do get sick. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but it's really cool on the living benefits with Ameritas. Ultimately, you're selling a better quality of life. That's what makes you a better agent, a better producer. That's why you're making a commission, to make that recommendation. And definitely think about what I told you with underwriting. Think about the benefits of full underwriting. I really know that not all of you are going to take that, but I really know that it's a significant benefit in doing that. And I see that Ameritas really shines when you do full underwriting. So take advantage of that. Anyway, Ray, are there any questions? Any thoughts that you can see right now?
No, this is fantastic, Diego. Really is. You and Dylan just did a fantastic job. Even though Dylan's name says Diego, so there's a before and after picture there. I'm not sure who's before, who's after, but I'm not going to get into that. But you guys did a phenomenal job, and it's exciting to work with you guys and see what you guys are doing, and you know, the contest specifically just for us with Amera, you know, and 2 workout sessions with Diego. I think that's a fantastic prize that you're offering as well. You know, but no, but we're excited about that, and also too, we're excited about the you know, all the other prizes too, the shirts and the pins and all that good stuff that you have as well. So we do have some questions, Diego.
Yep.
So I know you see them. There's some in the chat box and also in the Q&A box.
Yeah.
One question I saw real quick before I give it to you. Somebody asked about contracting, how to get contracted. So to get contracted with Ameritas, you need to contact our home office here at iCan Financial, or reach out or hit the contracting at iCan Financial, and we'll get you contracted, or you could call here us at iCan Financial directly, and we'll get you contracted. So, but there's some questions there for Dylan and for Diego on both the Q&A side and the chat side. So I'll let you guys kind of fire away at those if you can.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the first one, and is regarding the renewal practice with the index rates. So the good thing about Ameritas is that the renewals basically are what we're currently offering. So what I mean by that, when I bought my FLX IUL, for example, the participation on the BMP was 170%. Well, now I'm going to renew this year, and the current participation is at 185, so I get the 185. So the renewals is always going to be based on what we're currently offering on that product as well. So you know, you can take obviously it could go the other way as well, right? But it's really designed that way, which has a benefit because we don't want to. If we don't do it, if we were to lower things a lot, we're killing ourselves. But by keeping it as best as we can, we're helping the whole book and as well as the renewals. So that's the renewal practices. You get the current rates. Do the living benefits take cash value away or the death benefits? So the living benefits, if you have an acceleration, the account value is not affected like it would be if you take a loan, right? Account value is not affected. So the growth of the policy continues to be the same. That's good. And what we do is when we credit interest on a policy, we're basing it on account value. So again, accelerations don't affect your growth or nothing like that. They do affect the death benefit and the cash value. So in the dollar for dollar reduction. So we're saying, hey, you had $1 million policy. We advanced 250. You die later. We're gonna, we're not gonna give your beneficiaries a 250 because we already gave you that, right? You basically took an acceleration of your death benefit. That's how you have to. And the same way, if you want to surrender the policy or walk away with your policy, we already gave you this much, so we're taking that away, right? We're deducting dollar for dollar that. But so yeah, the cash value gets affected and the death benefit get affected on a dollar for dollar reduction. The account value does not get affected. All right, what else is here? Can you talk again about the living benefits, the lien? So the lien, yeah, so we call it the lien because we put a lien on your policy, right? Think of it like Ameritas borrows you money and they use your policy as a guarantee. So they put a lien on your policy if you have an acceleration. It's not an actuarial discount like the other companies where all the values are reduced respectively. And if you do a partial, but if you do a full, you don't have a policy. With us, the policy doesn't have to lapse. Now, there is a situation, for example, in what I showed earlier. What if that 45-year-old has the illness at age 46, where there is no values still on there is no, we still give you the full 250,000, but you probably will take a few years before you see any cash value, right? And you may have to continue to pay payments so the policy doesn't lapse. In the scenario that I showed you earlier, they had enough accumulated where they weren't paying payments anymore, so that's fine. But if it's an early acceleration, they may have to pay payments. Let me see the Q&A now. Q&A. What is a renewal? Oh, this is what it was, right?
Yeah, you got to go to the chat box.
Yep, and I answered a few in the chat, Diego. There's a few others I did not get to yet.
Okay, can you get to them? You have them?
Yep, so I answered the first three. The next one here, Sal asked, under what circumstances would you use each of the IULs? So like you said, we have 3 IULs available. Which one do we use? The Value Plus IUL is going to have higher cash accumulation than a whole life product, but it's our cheapest IUL. So if they want cash value but want to keep the cost low, Value Plus would be the way to go. The Growth and the FLX IUL, the main focus will be on cash accumulation. I'm not sure if any of you are in New York. That is the only time I'd recommend Growth IUL over the FLX.
We don't have the FLX. That's why.
So we're in every state.
You don't have a choice.
Yep, for the FLX. And we can help with that. And then Sal, I saw your other one. I took your information down, so I'll be in touch with you here soon. How would we view an A1C reading above 6.5? Most likely, they're going to fall in that rapid class with a table rating. So we call it rapid non-tobacco. But for that, Victor, we can get you in touch as well with an underwriter. Our underwriters are available to you over the phone to do a live risk assessment. So we would also want to do that. The illustrated rate for the uncapped BNP index, that is going to be our capped rate on all index options. Right now it's at 6.32%. So So that'll be the same on the S&P or the BNP for illustrative purposes. On our plans, we have both a fixed and a variable loan available to your clients. I believe the fixed rate right now is at 3.1%, and that variable is at 4.1%. That is not capped, so that is subject to change. And then is there a loan approach or a loan rate on the lien approach? How would you answer that one, Diego?
Yeah, the way that the lien is calculated is a little different than the loan. And what I'm going to do, Ray, I'm going to send you a description of it that I got from our actuarial person itself that explains how a loan is treated versus a lien, because it's the years 1 through 5 is one way, and then year 6+ it's too complex to just tell you. So I'm going to send you in writing so you can see it. It will be a lot more clear. So the difference between liens and loans and how they're treated and the interest rates on them. So I will promise I will send that to you, as well as the guides that I showed you earlier.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Looks like we're at the final two here. Is there a guarantee issue for your final expense? For that part, it's not guaranteed issue. It's going to be simplified underwriting, just the application. And then your client will either get approved or declined. And we only offer 2 classes, either standard tobacco or standard non-tobacco on that final expense.
Which is really a whole life product, a low band whole life product. It's not really a final expense, but it's used as final expense.
Yep. And does the cost of insurance increase with age on the IUL plans? So yes, I mean, the expense is going to be more as the client ages on those IULs, but their premium will not go up. So what's shown on the illustration, say they're paying $100 a month to 65, they will not need to change that. We're not going to tell them in year 5 or 10, hey, we need you to pay 300. So other than that, was there anything else that you guys had for me or Diego, or any final questions we may have missed?
And if not, don't forget about the sales contest. I really love to have a lot of names in there to give that mirror away. Thank you so much for all your business, guys. I mean, we know you have choices, and we're being your choice in many cases. So we really appreciate that. And we're here to help you in any way we can. So take advantage, use our team. I will send you the sales guide soon. There are 2 underwriting guides and the information on the lien and loans, and whatever else you need, just reach out to us.
Fantastic. Hey guys, I just want to thank both of you guys very much. Diego, you did a fantastic job. Dylan, you did an amazing job as well. We'll be sending out the flyer once we have that. That'll be sent out company wide to all of our agents, and you probably will see that a couple of times. Also, we'll have that posted on our social media pages as well. And we're also going to repost this presentation on our social media as well too. So and we'll also send an email to all of our agents who weren't not able to see this presentation today. They'll get an email of this presentation as well, so they'll see this again as a replay. But guys, thank you so much for taking your time. It's good to see you again, Diego. It's been too long. Dylan, it's good to see you too. Hopefully we can go get some of that sushi again. And
we will.
That was amazing. that was amazing. That was amazing. It was like the most sushi I've ever seen in my life. But it's a great time. But so looking forward to seeing both of you guys very soon, and also more importantly, have you guys come to Texas, to Dallas, and we'll be happy to host you guys and take part of one of our trainings we do. We do boot camp training every single month. Here at the home office, we have a live event, and we also do it virtually as well because of COVID. But Texas is getting more and more freer, I guess, with restrictions. So there's more and more people coming to the live boot camps. So we'll like to have you guys maybe in May, come down in May, if possible, to our live event, and have you guys there as well too. So, but again, you guys are doing a phenomenal job for us. We're very happy with you guys. Obviously, you see our production, and you'll definitely see more production coming in. So again, I want to thank you guys very much, and we'll be sending all this information via email to all of our agents as well. Okay. Well,
Perfect.
Diego, thank you very much. Dylan, thank you very much. You guys are awesome. And you guys on the call here, I want to thank all you guys. I know some of you guys logged off, but we'll be sending this information to everybody. So everybody will see it again multiple times. So we'll get multiple plays. And we're looking forward to the contest to see who's going to be the grand winner of the Mara. You know, so that's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, guys, thank you so much. Dylan, thank you.
Bye-bye,
Diego,
everybody.
you're awesome, buddy. And we'll see everybody very soon. Have a good day, everybody.